With that, let's bring in Michael Pillsbury, Senior Fellow for China Strategy at the Heritage Foundation and a Fox News contributor. Michael, great to have you back. So, we're watching this. We're waiting to see a little bit of movement here and this very subtle quote from Chinese officials that there would be, quote, no harm in talking at this point. This is after President Trump said that he felt like they were going to start talking, and that was called misinformation by the Chinese. But now they're saying, yeah, there wouldn't be any harm in at least talking. Read into that for us, if you would.
Well, they're a civilization based on nuance, often in Chinese poetry. There are allusions to things that haven't happened yet, or talks about the importance of different colors. So this kind of signal for China is really quite important. It shows me that President Trump's patience and his expressions of goodwill towards Xi Jinping are probably going to work. They initially were very frightened. I think you know this, Martha. They were very frightened by this document that came out from the White House April 3rd, listing 24 kinds of concessions all countries would have to make, including China. But they weren't very specific. It's just an executive summary. So the entire list of what you have to do if you want to get into direct talks has not been provided. The Chinese have been trying through business corporations here, through their friends who have delegations, to figure out what exactly do they have to give if they start the talks. That's what President Trump has just been, I think, just been a genius to be very vague, but be very supportive. I think you probably saw him yesterday saying he doesn't want the Chinese economy to be hurting people. So his strategy seems to be working. What we'll see in the next phase is if this, what I call the superpower showdown, if it really is going to break in our favor. I think it will. By the way, I'm borrowing that phrase superpower showdown from a couple of Wall Street Journal reporters who wrote a book, Bob Davis and Ling Wei, with that title on the first term trade talks and how they could be better in the future.
So this report, Nomura Securities, says that some 16 million Chinese workers could lose their job if this tariff standoff between these two major world powers continues. And this is Scott Bessent speaking with Maria Bartiromo earlier today at Watch.
Yes.
The Chinese economy is slowing down substantially here. Everyone knows that China needs to rebalance towards more consumption. So if we could rebalance together, then that would be the big deal.
How much pressure can Xi Jinping take if people start to become very unsettled by being at home and not working and not making any money? I mean, wouldn't that ultimately, if he doesn't make some sort of deal, be a threat to his power?
Absolutely. At some point, there's going to be a breaking point, and whether there's a coup d'etat to remove Xi Jinping or he comes to the talks, finally makes the phone call to President Trump, that's the crucial issue. And what Scott Bessent is saying just now, that's exactly right. The two sides need to rebalance what's called consumption. That's a part of the GDP. Our consumption is roughly 70%. Our population likes to buy things. The Chinese consumption rate's more like 35%, only half. And they suppress the salaries. They make it difficult to be a good consumer in China. That's got to change if Scott's forecast there is correct, that both sides need to rebalance and get our GDPs helping each other. President Trump a lot of the time says that we help build China. I think his thinking now is it's time for China to help make America great again. And the way to do that is to come to these talks.
Fascinating to watch and so interesting to see the EU start saying, well, maybe we'll buy some more energy from the United States. So I think it's, patience is really important here. As I said yesterday, it's been 28 days since this process started. So I think we need to hold on and see what's coming down the pipeline. Michael, thank you. Thank you so much. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Mother.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.